In this video, we're going to solve side angle angle and angle side angle triangles using the law of sines. These are not ambiguous law of sine situations. So let's go ahead and get started here. Given these two angles that I have here, I definitely can find the third angle. So 180 minus 45 minus 40 tells me that that angle is exactly 95 degrees. No approximation needed. So now we have little a is to sine of angle across from it as, and then we have side across from given angle here, like that. So little a is going to be 7 times sine of 40 degrees over sine of 45 degrees. So 7 sine of 40 degrees. I'm in degree mode in my calculator. Make sure you are too. Sine of 45 degrees. And we're going to round to 2 decimal places, so 6.36. And then for side C, we're going to have C over sine of 95 degrees is equal to 7 over sine of 45 degrees. So C equals 7 sine of 95 degrees over sine of 45 degrees. Second entry, 7 sine of, this should be 95 over sine 45. And C is 9.86. All right. Now we have these two angles again. So let's take 180 minus 98 minus 41 to get our third angle is also 41. That being the case, these are isosceles here. So that means that these sides have to be congruent here that are across from the base angles. So A also has to be 2. So let's use the law of sines now to find side C. That C is to sine of 98 degrees as 2 is to sine of 41 degrees. So C equals 2 sine of 98 degrees over sine of 41 degrees. 2 sine of 98 divided by sine of 41 is 3.02. Now they're not going to give us the triangle, so we're just going to put angle and side that's across from the given angle. That angle that they give us with the side across, we're going to put in the lower left-hand corner. So A is 20 degrees, and they give us side A is 8, and they give us angle B is 40. Let's stick that up here or down here. Doesn't really matter. 60, so 180 minus 60 is 120. So stick that up there. And this is going to be side B. This is going to be side C. And this is going to be angle B. Angle C was exactly 120 degrees. So B is to sine of angle B as A is to sine of angle A, and B is 8 sine of 40 degrees over sine of 20 degrees. So B is about 15.04. And then C is to sine of 120 degrees, as 8 is to sine of 20 degrees. C equals 8 sine of 120 over sine of 20. That's 20.26. Right? We've got another triangle to solve here. So B is down here, is 30 degrees, and the side across from it is 10. And then they give us angle C down here is 10, meaning angle A is 180 minus 40 is 140. What's left up here? And then A and C. So A is to sine of A as B is to sine of B. So A equals 10 sine of 140 over sine 30. A is about 12.86. And C over sine of C is equal to 10 over sine of 30. So C equals 10 sine of 10 over sine of 30. It's about 10 sine of 10 divided by sine of 30 is 3.47. You'll notice the relationship here, if you haven't seen it yet, that the smallest side is across from the smallest angle, biggest side is across from the biggest angle, and so on. So that's the relationship that's there with the law of sines. Let's keep going here. Angle A we'll put up here is 130 degrees, and angle C is 20 degrees, and side C is 3, meaning this is B, this is A. So 150, this is going to be 30 degrees. This left over here to give us 180 degrees. And A is to sine of A as B is, or C is to sine of C. So A equals 3 sine of 130 degrees over sine of 20 degrees. 3 sine of 130 divided by sine of 20. It's going to give us 6.72 for A. and B is to sine of B as 3 is to sine of 20. B equals 3 sine of 20. Sorry, 3 sine of 30 over sine of 20. And so 3 sine of 30 divided by sine of 20 is 4.39. There we go. Let's look at this next one here. Lots of practice for law of sines here. Now this is also going to be an isosceles triangle. Try and draw it that way. These base angles will be 20 degrees each. Let's call one of them A and one of them B. That gives us angle C is 180 minus 40 is 140. And if C is 8, then we just need to find one of these sides because they're congruent to each other. So we either need to find A or B, doesn't matter which. So A is to sine of A as C is to sine of C, and A equals 8 sine of 20 degrees over sine of 140 degrees. We get A is 4.26, and B has to be the same thing since it's an isosceles triangle. I believe that's it. So we'll come back next time and we'll talk more about the law of sines. We'll start talking about the ambiguous case of the law of sines with side-side angle. So see you for the next video.